Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather today. I'm meteorologist Al Peterlin. I'd like to talk about the weather health risk for November 29, 2025. We do keep additional graphics available at tpatw.com. And for your holiday shopping, we have a patient weather storefront on Amazon. If you visit our store at Patient Weather, you can support Patient Weather through purchasing on Amazon. Looking at our surface map for tomorrow or Saturday, it does look rather simple with high pressure really dominating much of the west, high pressure dominating the eastern seaboard. However, there is significant weather change going on with the big low sitting here in Iowa, Illinois, and the cool front stretching all the way down from Wisconsin through St. Louis, all the way down to Houston, and a swath of weather ahead and along that frontal system. Looking at our vitality index, which is a measure of all of the elements that can change and can trigger some sort of health response, you can see up here in the central northern Rockies, the high plains, a real area of risk, another significant area of risk with that frontal position. And notice it stretches from the cold front, clear from Wisconsin all the way down to Texas, but notice there is a dangling warm front cutting across the Gulf. And then we have another area of interest across the entire northeastern portions of the country, all the way and going in through Kansas, Canada, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island. Looking at pressure change, and that is always an area of interest for those with a weather-sensitive body. We have rising pressure here in the Rockies and the High Plains, from the Texas and Oklahoma panhandle through western Kansas, Nebraska, on into South Dakota, but very significantly in eastern Montana, eastern Wyoming, and eastern Colorado. Another area of very high pressure all the way from New Jersey, Maryland, New Jersey, New York, and across all of New England, and lots of those Canadian cities, especially from Montreal north, and all the way into New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island. And then we're back to that area of frontal action and the unsettled weather across the Mississippi Valley, the Ohio Valley, all the way down to Louisiana. Note, as we start talking about temperature change, you would think it would be different based on our occurrences, but it's already cool along the eastern seaboard. It's now getting dramatically colder here in the Rockies and Plains. And note the warming all along the Gulf, actually from West Texas across Houston, Louisiana, and much of Florida climbing back up warmer, and all the way up into the Ohio Valley, the lower portions, Kentucky and Tennessee. The change in dew point temperature is also reflective of what's going on as the dew point temperatures fall dramatically here in the plains, increase significantly with that frontal system, and then again along that Gulf that we were talking about, the warm front that we just didn't see on the map itself, and the vapor pressure just supporting what we've already talked about. The risk of migraine based on changes in the availability of oxygen in the atmosphere is reflecting those high pressure areas with the risk of migraine up the high plains, especially Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, western Nebraska, and down into Wyoming, Colorado, and portions of eastern Montana. Also, again, the rising pressure and the risk of migraine from Maryland, New Jersey, across eastern Pennsylvania, New York, all of the Canadian cities, this case almost from Toronto, clearing up to Ottawa, and all of the Canadian provinces off to the east, and very significantly here, even across Maine. But the area and risk of asthma and arthritis goes right along with the frontal activity, and that stretches from Houston across Louisiana, with a really significant risk of asthma arthritis for those southern states, Alabama, Mississippi, down into southern Georgia and Florida, and then up here again in the Tennessee and Ohio Valley, Tennessee, Kentucky, back into Iowa and across Illinois and up into Wisconsin, but stretching east all the way touching western Pennsylvania. Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather today. Your comments are appreciated. If you hurt, let us know where you're located. And if you do your shopping on Amazon, visit our Patient Weather storefront and do your purchasing through that to be able to support Patient Weather.